Welcome to the Get the Bag podcast. I'm your host, Kelly, and on today's show we have Miss Alexis. Yes.
Hi, hi. Thank you for having
Miss
me.
Alexis, tell us about your business.
So, I run a blog in boutique called Lex on Lux, and it's dedicated
Ooh.
to women who really want to experience luxury or higher end things, but don't necessarily have that safe space to kind of adventure with it, explore
Mhm.
it, and try it out because there's such a negative connotation. People call you extra, they say you're bougie, you're materialistic. So I wanted
Mhm.
to create kind of a sisterhood, a safe space, but also an educational space for
Mhm.
styling and fashion, especially for Black women.
Awesome. Interesting, because we like nice things. Let me tell you.
We do, we do.
So what inspired you to start this?
So growing up, I lied about being black because I'm
Mhm.
light skinned. I can get away with it. People think I'm Puerto
Mhm.
Rican. I've gotten Persian once.
Mhm.
I've gotten all kinds of things. So
Mhm.
I was just embarrassed and I didn't really want to lean into that side
Mhm.
of myself because I felt like there were these huge stereotypes. And I grew up in an inner city school. So a lot of the stereotypes I saw enforced they had to do with money. They had to
Mhm.
do with that economic, the five-finger discount I learned in third grade.
Mhm.
So it took until about high school before I actually admitted that I'm black and
Mhm.
I accepted it and
Yeah.
embraced it. Turned out that I was from a royal family from Cameroon. So the
Oh
whole
my goodness.
time I'm denying this thing that it ends up being this really beautiful aspect of me.
Mhm.
So when I leaned into that
Yeah.
and I started kind of surrounding myself with more black women who had the same mentality that I
Mhm.
did, I saw this opening and this space to kind of connect and talk about these
Mhm.
things, these struggles that we have.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I know that that is definitely in our community a difficult space.
Right.
As you know, as a light skinned sister myself, I've definitely had my struggles in those spaces. So I commend you for definitely being able to share that because that's not easy at all.
Right.
Um, so tell me, like, what it is that your brand does for women
Mm-hmm.
and how can they experience that brand?
Oh, that's such a good question. So, of course, what we do is a huge part of it is educational. So,
Mm-hmm.
I love to give outfit ideas and formulas. So, someone can
Yes.
come to the site and they're like, I have no clue what to wear today. I have no clue what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some outfit formulas that you can follow. You can put things together that are already in
Ooh.
your closet. But then different
Mm-hmm.
styling tips. You can have a basic graphic tee, but I'll tell you five
Mm-hmm.
ways that you can style it.
Yes.
And then also giving some light to black luxury retailers and websites, places that people can shop to support
Mhm.
minority owned businesses.
So tell me about those spaces and those, because we need to be educated, right? Because
Right.
like I want to know because I need to get my look together for season two, right? So tell me about like those people that you've gotten items from that you curate because you're using other black businesses and we want to know who they are. Like we want to
Yes.
know.
So there's a couple in Indianapolis. There's Andrea Campbell Designs. She's amazing. She
Ooh.
actually just was featured at Indiana Fashion Week,
Mhm.
and her designs were beautiful. She can curate kind of custom pieces for you as well.
Okay.
So if you're doing anything exciting and you need a special occasion dress, love her.
Mhm.
But the newest one that I'm really loving is Brandon Blackwood. He's
Mhm.
out of New York. He uses vegan leather and makes these gorgeous
Ooh.
handbags. They sell out
Mhm.
within the day when he launches a new collection. So
That's
he's
awesome.
definitely someone to reach into.
Yes, it's so exciting to have a platform like that where we can experience, people who of color who are offering these products that are high end. Because I mean, we hear about the Gucci's and the
Yes.
Chanel's and things like that, and that's cool. But it would be awesome to be able to experience that.
Right.
Can you tell us where we can find you at so we can get to this?
Absolutely. So my site is www.lexonlux.net. And then, of course,
Hmm.
I'm on Instagram, so lexonlux underscore.
Okay, awesome. So, as an entrepreneur and a black woman in this space, what would you tell other entrepreneurs?
It's going to seem overwhelming. It's going to seem like if you get specific, if you talk about
Mm,
your personal experiences, if you open up and become vulnerable and really try to connect with someone who can resonate with your story, it's going to feel like there's no one out there and you're on this
mm.
island by yourself, and you're not. If you stick with it, if you have
Yes.
consistency, if you provide value to people, they will resonate with you. They'll connect with you, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
start building a community. You just have to give it time and be open to really exposing kind of your story and what you bring to the table.
Awesome. Now that was definitely meat and potatoes, you guys. So listen to that, because what I heard her saying was there needs to be authenticity to it, right?
Yes. Oh my
And
gosh,
so
yes.
being authentic in that moment and making those connections is what like kind of like brings you out, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really, really awesome to hear as people begin to move forward in this journey of being an entrepreneur. No, you're not on an island by yourself, right?
Right. Right.
There are other people out there, and making those connections with other people is so important.
Mhm.
How has making those connections allowed you to grow your brand?
Um, I think the biggest thing is learning an entire new world. When I start a
Mm-hmm.
blog, you think that you just put posts on a website, but
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn search engine optimization, which some people go and get their masters and learn some of these
Mm-hmm.
marketing skills. So I learned search engine
Yes.
optimization, UTM parameters, learning the back end of the algorithms for every social media platform, learning
Mm-hmm.
how to market and kind of put myself out there and
Mm-hmm.
put my message where it needed to be.
Yes.
Getting those connections, that has really helped me grow in a technical way that could
Mm-hmm.
have taken me years, and it was huge. Yesterday I got to do a photo shoot with Scoop magazine. It was
Yes.
just so exciting. So you never know what space you're going to be able to occupy if you open up
Mm-hmm.
and you connect and you put yourself out there, and it's incredibly rewarding.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what is next for Alexis?
So my biggest goal would be to branch out with the boutique. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to be able to offer a bigger range of items, a bigger range of clothing. I want to
Mm-hmm.
expand into some more topics, and
Yes.
of course grow the Instagram so we can have some brand partnerships to continue bringing in more success for those Black-owned businesses.
Awesome. So we talked earlier, and you talked about like there's a Miss Universe, some type of
Yeah.
pageant coming up.
Yes.
What are you doing with the pageant?
So it is on this Sunday, August 7th,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the Miss Black USA pageant. I grew up doing pageants for over 10 years. I did
Mm-hmm.
one most recently in May, so a
Awesome.
veteran, but still dabble in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know this, but up until about the 60s, you could not be a contestant in the Miss America pageant if you were Black.
Oh wow.
So they needed to find a way to offer that same kind of um, elegance and refinement and
Mm-hmm.
all the skills that you develop and hone from being in a pageant.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to create a space for Black women, and that branched into Miss
Mm.
Black USA. And then there, of course, are a couple other ones, but it is the most prestigious Black pageant in the country. So
Yes.
they are going to be able to shop my boutique, get some high-end pieces to kind of go along with their new pageant wardrobe. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. So how many women will you be curating for?
So that's 42 and their winner.
Yes.
Hmm.
Ooh. So is there a way that we can see the pageant? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I would be able to get you some details, but there should be a live stream link if you go to their
Yes.
Facebook, so Miss Black USA.
Okay.
It's, of course, on their website as well, missblackusa.com, and you can get that live stream link there.
Awesome. So tell me about like what is like if I came to you, what would you do in terms of like an outfit? Like how would you start like this conversation with me?
Oh yeah, so I think I would approach it with twofold.
Mm-hmm.
One, what are you looking for out of your functionality? Are you
Mm-hmm.
someone who works downtown like I used to, and
Mm-hmm.
you're walking to your car? You want functional shoes. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis for you? How often do you
Because
go
we
to
need
events?
functional shoes around here.
They need to be comfortable. Okay, yes.
Yes.
So we love a kitten heel.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, I would ask you some questions, kind of dive a little bit into the actual shape and features of your body.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called style essences, and it is the
Okay.
science of the lines, the symmetry, and just the aura that our bodies give off. And based on that, I would be able to categorize you and put you in
Yes.
there, and that kind of falls in line with the type of material that you would wear best, the type of colors, the shapes, the necklines, and that would offer a huge platform to launch off of.
So you ladies, you hear this, right? There is somebody out there that can get you together because
Right.
what you know, what people see about you is your entire brand, right?
Yes.
And so it looks like you create a brand for people when they
Yeah.
step out the door and what they see with people. And I think that's absolutely awesome as Black women, and we start moving in these spaces and we want to present a particular image, right?
Yes. Yes.
So kudos to you for doing that, because that's not like something you find very easily.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we are definitely supporting you,
Thank
because
you.
I mean, amen to that, and petite women at that, right?
Right.
For us shorter girls,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually harder to find clothes
So hard.
that don't sweep the ground. I mean, we are done with the 90s, right? Where we
Yep.
hit the bell bottoms that swept the
Yep.
ground and we're all tore up. That was
They were
all
so
bad, right?
nasty. It's so dirty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was horrible, right?
Mhm.
And so, having that space where somebody like yourself who understands, right? Because I don't think some designers understand, like, it is
No.
horrible.
No, I
Like,
talk about this all the time. So a lot of people think if you're short, you just need your hem done, and like, why don't you just bring it to a tailor?
because it can mess with the shape.
It messes with the shape, absolutely. And I can be a 5 foot woman, but my body shape is not the same. So I have a long torso, which means things hit my waist differently than if you're
Yes.
short, same height, but have a longer leg, where I'm going to be a totally different shape and fit. That inseam matters, the sleeve length matters, where it hits on the top of your shoulder. All of that stuff is so important, and no one thinks of that.
You know what? I found one place that like actually I guess thought about that scenario, because for so long, for me it's been Torrid, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like the only but before Torrid, plus size girls had Ashley Stewart, right?
Hmm.
Ashley Stewart tends to be for a taller girl.
Right.
And they don't really do like a petite or anything like that.
Hmm.
And that was an entire struggle.
For
Um,
sure.
and then, like you talked about that whole torso thing, my torso tends to be longer. And it's like, but if you give me a shirt, and then it would be so funny, like when I would be at jobs and they would give us like those polos, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like they are like not made for women. Like, what is
No.
this? It
Usually
was
I'd
all
wear those. I'd
bad.
wear those as dresses. I guess that's one. There are two things that you can get away with being petite. One is sometimes wearing child's clothing or shoes, and turning shirts that are supposed to be shirts into dresses.
Yes.
That's what those polos were like. So it did not look cute at the tunic length with jeans under to be work
No,
appropriate.
because the shirt was like knee length. All bad. Yeah, so it's awesome that you cater to that specific area of women who are petite. And I know that women who are smaller tend to struggle too. And so there's that spectrum of, women who are larger and women who are very tiny, and it's so hard to find clothes on either end, because I guess they
Yeah.
kind of cater to the middle.
I feel like they really cater to the middle. I hear a lot of women who are extra small, and there are a lot out there. They have very few brands that they can go to, and a huge misconception is that petite has to do with your width size, like your clothing size, and it doesn't. It means you're 5'4" or under, and that is a huge range that's completely underserved.
Yes, absolutely. So, people out there, if you're listening, we need more brands for girls who are like 4 foot. Well, what, like say
Yeah.
5'4" and under.
5'4" and under. So I would say that usually goes to like 4'11", but there are people who are smaller, of course. So
Yeah, I got a couple friends who might be like 4'9".
yeah,
It is
definitely.
so hilarious. And so, short people running packs, if you guys didn't know that.
We do. Yeah.
So absolutely. Is there something else that you want to share with us about your journey as an entrepreneur?
I think that I just really want to inspire anyone else who's out there, especially that's a creative. I think there are a lot in Indianapolis. They're really inspiring to me, and I just want them to know, stick with it, be consistent, and know that there is a space for you. There are people who want to hear what you have to say. There's a ton of data out right now that there has never been a time where people are more interested in spending money with minority and women-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
There is a space for you. People want to support you. Give it time, and you're going to be able to do it.
So, in talking about your blog and learning the back end, I know
Yeah.
that is sometimes hard for creatives, right?
For sure.
Really educating yourself. How did you do the research to know what all you needed to know about creating that blog.
Oh my gosh. A lot of late nights. Google Digital Garage is the best place to start. They offer a certification and it's free and it's by actual Google. So they're going to give you the fundamentals. But from there, I really had to do tons of Googling, tons of just deep dive in research, reading experts' blogs. Hootsuite is another really, really amazing resource. And I love them too because once you get your footing, it changes. Things change on the internet, surprise. So that's one of the best platforms to stay up to date on algorithms changing, best practices, things like that. But otherwise, just nose to the ground and doing Coursera courses. Udemy offers really great stuff, and just searching.
Absolutely. So, you guys who are out there who are on social media, who are doing blogs, things like that, it really does behoove you to do the research, right? To
Yes.
know, what the algorithms are for different websites. I was taught the algorithm for LinkedIn for my particular business,
Yeah.
and what it takes for your stuff to be, seen by multiple people, what you need to do before and after, how to make yourself more visible online, what
Absolutely.
keywords you need to put in, things like that.
Yes.
And so those things are extremely important. So again, that is absolute meat and potatoes. So if you are not doing your research, make sure that you get out there and do your research about is putting yourself out there, right? And so if you don't do that research, it kind of gets buried, right? You can have the greatest content in the world,
Literally, yep.
and if you do not know how to get it out there, it will stay hidden.
Yes.
So definitely make sure that you go
Yes.
back and you educate yourself, because it's hard sometimes growing your Instagram. It's hard sometimes,
hard.
getting your brand out there because there are a million people on Instagram who are making money on Instagram and doing all that. But you can do that too, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I more recently took a couple courses on Instagram. One of the biggest misconceptions is that you need to have like 100,000 followers to make money. You can make six figures with less than 10,000 followers.
Ooh.
You can be so successful. It's the same kind of concept that there is a space for you. If you have an engaged audience that wants what you have, that believes in you and trusts you and will buy from you,
Absolutely.
brands care way more about that than they do 100,000 followers that get 5 to 10 likes because no one's actually engaging with your stuff. So number one key is consistency on social media. They want you to keep people on the platform. They want to see that you're engaging. They want you on the platform.
Yeah.
If you do that, you do the research behind it and offer value, you are going to be so successful.
Awesome. She said offer value, right? Which is a huge thing. So make sure that you're just not putting stuff out there. Because I keep seeing these TikTok reels and stuff. Like they told me on Instagram I have to post every day. So I'm making my posts. And it's like,
So ideally, yeah, you're on there a lot, but you have to do what you can stick with. So if you're
Right.
consistent 2 to 3 times a week, that's better than every single day for 1 week and then nothing for the next week. You gotta have a good rhythm down. And there are a lot of people who think that you have to post like 3 to 5 times in your stories or things like that. As long as it's got a rhythm and the algorithm can kind of see what you're doing and who you're speaking to, that's what matters.
awesome. So thank you so much for sharing that, because that is definitely something, as you grow as an entrepreneur, as you put yourself out there online, if you're selling, if you're trying to reach your audience, that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
So that is definitely how you get the bag, right?
For sure.
By knowing your audience and how to get out there and doing the research.
Yes.
So as always, everybody, get the bag. The evolution of your small business starts today. Sign up for our partners Verizon's Small Business Digital Ready platform, a free service to you to advance your business. Check the link below and click on that, and it'll take you right to our Verizon Wireless link.